Okay, I'll spare you the headache that was me doing the day 2 Advent of Code problem. Like, there's a few things I messed up on the problems, like, multiple times, and also the recording was cropped badly. So it's like part of the problem statement was cut off, but my code was just fine, so I can still show that. So basically in this one, we're given input that looks like this, where you're given a range and then a letter and then a password, and you have to say if this letter occurs some number of times between whatever this range was. So this is a valid password because it has A occurring 1 to 3 times. It occurs once. This one, B, does not occur at all, so this is not a valid password. And then C occurs 9 times exactly, so this is valid. And so I solved this here. So also my login token had expired, so my script to auto get the input didn't work. I had to get it myself. It was just a huge mess. Um, so I already had this line here. I just had to uncomment it. And so instead of making each input line an integer with map, I can just separate each line first, and then I separate it into parts. So in this example, it would have 1 through 3. Actually, here I can show this. I was going to test my script again, but I didn't. So this is what it looks like. So let me comment out what I did for part 2 for right now. So here in part 1, I print A, and this is what it looks like. It's a little messy, but it's like it becomes a 2-dimensional array essentially, where each position has 3 things in it. It has the range, the letter, and the password that you have to check if it's valid. So this was part 1. This was pretty simple. Yeah, I messed up a few times. I was like trying to go quickly, but I missed a few details. So in this one, you just had to say if the letter occurred some number of times in that range given. So this parses out the first number from here. So I'm using enumerate. It's basically like using a for loop on this. Instead of having to reference like A at position X, I can just say ele for element. So this is checking the first number. Then this is a feature of Python. You can check if it's less than or equal to this and less than or equal to this all in one statement. So I'm just doing the count of ele at 1, which is this part, and then position 0 is just the letter and not the colon. And so you just count that and see if it's in this range. So I originally messed this up because I did a less than both places instead of less than or equal to. So that answer was wrong originally. But the answer is pretty short here. So then in part 2, it's a little bit different. So you have to see, I like skimmed the problem statement originally and I missed things a lot, we'll just say. So in this one, it's actually like these are no longer ranges, they're positions. And so these guys like to use 1 indexed instead of 0 indexed. So that's something that tripped me up as well. And then you have to also check that exactly one of them is satisfied. So in the example, the way it works, this is really position 1 and position 3, and only one of those is supposed to be A. So position 1, because it's 1 indexed, is A, and position 3 was C, so yes, only one of those is A, so it is valid. But in this one, we're supposed to check if B is in one of the spots, but no, it's C and E, so that's invalid. And then since 2 is C and 9 is C, it's only supposed to be one of them, and so in this case, you do not count that either. And so here's my solution for that. Let me uncomment this. So first I'm splitting out the first number again, and then I'm splitting out the second number here, and then I was printing out for testing. And so it's a little weird how you have to test if only one of them is satisfied. So first I'm checking here if the x position -1, because it's 1 indexed. And so if, let's say x was 1, that's supposed to be the first thing, and so I have to subtract 1 because it's Python, which is 0 indexed, to make it match here. That was something that messed me up. I was originally doing +1 instead. A silly mistake. And then here I'm checking. So this confirms that it's in the range, like it's not going to be out of bounds, basically. And then right here I'm checking if, so element at 0 is this long line, and then I have to check if at the position that it's checking for is the letter. So in this case, it's 5, so position 5 here, remember 1 indexed in this case. So W, does that match X? No. But does position 15, that's this. No, that does not match either, so this one would be invalid. So if it was both, then I just pass, and that just means don't do anything. And then if it was just this one, then it'll go to the else case, and then I'm going to do continue because I don't want to check this one after that. Instead, it's only going to run this if both were satisfied or if neither were satisfied. So this is when we want to check, all right, was the Y position, so like the second number satisfied, but the first one was not, is what this part does. Otherwise, it's mostly the same code. Then I just print the count at the end. And so for me, let me comment where I'm printing A. So that's not right. Oh, I didn't comment my part 1. So yes, it was 245. So I'll spare you like me solving it live in this case. It was really painful to watch, to be honest. I messed up like 4 times. So hopefully this explanation was good enough. So thanks for watching.